Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be my reading plans for September and October. Obviously November is a part of fall, but to me November is winter because it snows in November. So I'm not including November in my fall reading plans. It's just going to be September and October, and once November rolls around I will have a separate TBR for November and December. As always, I will have my Goodreads list linked down below that includes all of the new releases that are coming out in September and October that I'm excited about. I'm going to go through the new releases, and then I'm going to go through the re-releases, and then my other TBR, then my TBR jar picks, and then I'm going to quickly go through my watch list for September and October. I have high hopes that I'm going to read a lot in September and October. I'm very excited. I have so many reading plans and a lot that I want to watch. I mean, I've tried to have a very small list of things that I want to watch because last year I had a massive list and I don't think I watched like any of them. So I have a shorter list this year. But let's get into the new releases. So there's only one new release for September that I'm excited about, and that is A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan. This is an adult romance fantasy about dragons, and I think there's witches as well. I really liked the concept of Fourth Wing, but I didn't necessarily love the execution, and so I'm kind of hoping that A Fire in the Sky is kind of similar, I guess, with the dragon element. Like, I really liked the dragon element in Fourth Wing, so I'm on the hunt for other new dragon romanticities, and this one I have really high hopes for. I know that Sophie Jordan has also written a young adult series about dragons, I'm pretty sure, which I haven't read, but I'm excited about this new release. Now on to October new releases. So the first one is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I am really hesitant to read this. I don't know if I want to read it. Like, I am gonna kind of wait until reviews come out for this book, but this is the sequel to Better Than the Movies. I really enjoyed the first book and I don't think it needed a sequel, to be honest. So I might pick it up, I might not. We'll see what everybody else thinks first. Slapshot Surprise by Melanie Harlow. This is the 5th book in the Cherry Tree Harbor series. This, I believe, is a surprise pregnancy romance, and so that's kind of the only reason why I'm interested in this. And I have liked Melanie Harlow's other surprise pregnancy romances before, because she has done this trope, I think, 2 times before that I've read, so I am curious about this one. The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. This is the 3rd book in the X-Hex series. This is an adult paranormal romance. I have been waiting for this 3rd book for over 2 years now, I think. I really loved the X-Hex and the Kiss Curse, so I'm excited to see how the series kind of ends in this 3rd book. Then we have Haunt Your Heart Out by Amber Roberts. This follows a ghost hunter and a bookseller who end up chasing a ghost. I've heard that this is a cozy Halloween romance, but also Christmas, so I'm kind of intrigued. Then we have Don't Kiss and Spell by Camilla Isley. This follows a witch who brews a love potion on Christmas Eve, hoping to fall in love with the next man she sees. But instead of the charming date she imagined, Riley King, Salem's magical PD chief inquisitor, bursts through her door and arrests her for murder. Then we have Sunlight by Devney Perry. This is the 2nd book in the Haven River Ranch series, and this is Jax Haven's story. And I believe he falls in love with his employee, I'm pretty sure. And then the last new release that I'm excited about is The Syndicator by Rue Nix. This is the 6th and final book in the Darkverse series. This is a dark mafia romance series. I am so excited for this last book. I cannot wait to see how it ends. Like, I'm not super obsessed with this series, but I'm intrigued enough to finish it and see how it all ends and what happens to all the characters. So I cannot wait for the end of October. And then for re-releases, what I mean by this is books that are independently published by authors are now getting picked up by publishing houses, and they are getting new covers or just like new editions, and they are being re-released so that you can buy them in bookstores. So we have Apollyon by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the 4th book in the Covenant series. This is a young adult Greek mythology series. Then we have Stay by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. This is the 2nd book in the Wags duology. The new edition of Pucked by Helena Hunting is out September 24th. The 10th anniversary edition of After by Anna Todd is getting a special edition. I have actually already pre-ordered this edition. It is a beautiful like blue and cream white clouds. Very pretty. I believe the edges are also supposed to have some sort of design, I think, or like supposed to continue like the clouds and stuff. I obviously really love this series, and I'm very excited to see what kind of bonus scenes are at the end of this book. Then we have Sentinel by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the 5th and final book in the Covenant series. There's going to be a new cover of Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the 2nd book in the Dark Elements series. And then finally we have A Hunger Like No Other by Kresley Cole. This is the 1st book in the Immortals After Dark series. I did already pre-order this cover because it is gorgeous, and I gave this book 5 stars back in the day, so I definitely want to reread it. I think I'm going to wait for my new edition to come and I'm going to reread it, and hopefully I'll give it 5 stars again this time around. It's been so long since I read this, but this is a paranormal romance. I'm pretty sure it's between a vampire and a werewolf. I can't fully remember. So that's it for all the new releases and the re-releases, and now on to my other TBR. I actually have a lot more books that I wanted to include, but some of them I haven't hauled yet, and I kind of don't want to spoil the haul, so just know that my next haul that you're going to see, I'm hoping to read a majority of those books in September and October as well. But here's everything else that I want to read that I can show you. So the first one is Halfling by S.E. Wendell. I bought this like a while back and I still haven't read it. I've heard that it is a very cozy fantasy romance. I really don't know anything else about this other than it's a cozy romantasy, and I really want to get into cozy romantasies more, so I am very excited to read this. It is quite thick, but I've heard great things, so I'm excited to dive into this very soon. I also love the cover. It is gorgeous. Then we have one I've already kind of started, and that is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. I am 30 pages into this, and I would love to continue this and finish it, hopefully in September. I read Love Light Farms, I think maybe 2 years ago now, and I didn't love it, but I was curious enough to pick up the second book. I've heard really good things about the last book, but I already have this one physically on my TBR, so I want to try to read this one first, and then I might jump to the last book, Business Casual. And this follows a grumpy farmer and a no-nonsense social media influencer have another chance at love in this charming romantic comedy. All the other ones I had on my TBR last year that I never got around to, and I really want to try to make it a point to read the books I already own. So I would love to read Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. The heroine applies to be an actual familiar for an actual witch. It sounds very weird, but I'm going to give it a try. We'll see if I enjoy it. Then we have Don't Hex and Drive by Juliet Cross. I feel like this will be a really quick read, so I really want to get to this one. I believe this follows a vampire and a witch. I wasn't exactly sold on the first book, but I keep hearing that the series gets better, so I'm going to try out the second book. Then we have A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley. Mariel knows not to trust a demon, especially one who wants her soul, but what's a witch to do when he won't leave her side, and she kind of doesn't want him to. We also have The Library of Shadows by Rachel Moore. I feel like this is probably the perfect book to read around this time. This is a young adult paranormal romance. I believe our heroine goes to the most haunted school in the country, the third most haunted school, and I believe she meets a ghost and she falls in love with him, and she's trying to figure out stuff about her dead father, I think. I haven't really heard much about this. I did partially buy this because of the cover. I think it's gorgeous, so hopefully I will enjoy it. Then we have Anatomy by Dana Schwartz. I have been meaning to read this for like 3 years, so I really need to get to this. This is a gothic mystery romance. I believe it's young adult. I'm hoping this is going to give me Stalking Jack the Ripper vibes, and I really love that series. This follows Hazel, who is a lady who wants to be a surgeon more than she wants to marry. Jack is a resurrection man who's just trying to survive in a city where it's too easy to die. And like I said, there's some other books that I really want to read that are in my book haul. I'm really hoping I could read a lot in September and October. Now on to my TBR jar picks. I'm actually not going to do my TBR jar pick for September and October. I mean, we'll see, but definitely not for September. I just haven't really been having the best luck with my TBR jar. I think the last 4 books I DNF'd. I think maybe I just need a break from it. So instead, I decided to pick 2 other books that I'm going to read throughout September and October. Still kind of acting like it's a TBR jar pick where I'm just reading like a chapter or a couple pages every day, but instead I'm picking the books specifically. So for September, I'm going to read Frankenstein. I've been wanting to read some classics. I think just switching up genres is hopefully going to be helpful. And I figured, you know what? This is the perfect time to read Frankenstein and give it a try. Also, it's quite short, so I feel like I can actually accomplish this one in September. I have a pretty busy month, so I'm going to try to read Frankenstein in September, and then for October, I'm going to try to read Dracula. I have a week off in October, so I feel like this is realistic to read in October. I'm hoping to do a lot of reading in that week off. I thought, you know what, it's the spooky season. Maybe I should try to switch up genres and try to read these instead of picking from my TBR jars. So these are going to be acting as my TBR jar picks for September and October. And then quickly, I'm going to go into my watch list. So TV shows and movies that I want to watch this spooky season. So obviously we have the 6th season of What We Do in the Shadows coming out October 21st, I think. Ideally, I would love to rewatch the entire show and then obviously watch the new season live. What We Do in the Shadows is one of my favorite comfort shows, so I'm excited to rewatch it because it has been kind of a while since I rewatched it. I am currently in my Brooklyn Nine-Nine phase, and before that I was in Modern Family. So now I'm probably going to be back into What We Do in the Shadows, and I'm very excited for the 6th and final season. I'm also still rewatching A Discovery of Witches. I have not finished season 2 yet. I'm literally on the last episode. I think I'm halfway through the last episode. I'm procrastinating finishing it because of what happens at the end of that episode. Like, it is kind of sad. So I'm kind of just procrastinating that. But I really want to finish season 2 and rewatch season 3. Then I also might rewatch Dracula, which was a show on NBC, which aired back in 2013, 2014. I really enjoyed this show. There is only 1 season of it. So if I have time, I might rewatch this. I feel like every spooky season, I end up rewatching an old TV show that I really liked. I'm also kind of considering rewatching Bitten, which is a Canadian sci-fi paranormal TV show, and it aired back in 2014 to 2016. I believe there are 3 seasons. So I'm either going to rewatch Dracula or Bitten. We'll see. I don't think I can rewatch both. Honestly, I have a lot of reading plans, so I don't think I can do both, because I would also love to finally watch Interview with a Vampire, the TV show on AMC. I've been saying I need to watch this show since season 1 came out. I just keep putting it off because the first episode was kind of slow for me. Like, I watched half of the first episode, but it's kind of long and it was kind of slow and I just was not in the right mood. But I really want to just like sit down and push through because I know it's amazing. I've heard like amazing things about the acting and the storytelling and just like the writing of the show. So I really need to finally watch Interview with a Vampire. I would also love to watch Over the Garden Wall, which I've heard is a very like cozy, cute little animated TV show. I think it only has 1 season and it aired back in 2014. And then of course I do have my movie rewatches. I am gonna rewatch the Harry Potter movies and the Twilight movies. I'm gonna rewatch Coraline, and I'm gonna rewatch The Nightmare Before Christmas. Probably more so towards the end of October I will rewatch that one. But those are like my annual rewatches around spooky season. I feel like there's definitely way more TV shows and movies that I would love to watch or rewatch around this time, but I kind of just need to hold myself back because I want to do a lot of reading instead. If I really prioritize my time, I feel like I could really read and watch a bunch of stuff. So We'll see. I think that is it for this video. Let me know all of the books that you're hoping to read this spooky season, any new releases that you're excited about, or re-releases, or just books that you've had on your TBR that you want to finally read this season. Also, let me know any TV shows or movies that you're hoping to watch this spooky season. And if you have any recommendations for some good spooky reads and TV shows and movies, please leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.